Changes are looming on the horizon, promising a long-awaited release from the burdens of the past. Since 2014, when Neptune entered a particular constellation, the sign's representatives have felt the ground beneath their feet shaky. A streak of disappointment, loss, loneliness, and dashed hopes has subjected them to tests that few can do. But now the heavens are preparing a turn that changes the course of events. For the first time in years, the stars are aligning in a unique alliance. Neptune, the celestial patron saint, in alliance with the mysterious Serpentine, marks the beginning of a massive transformation. Everything that seemed like an impossible burden is fading into the past, and what rightfully belongs is triumphantly returning. It is not just a new page, but the end of a period of adversity and the start of a 5-year period of stability, prosperity, love and financial well-being. The moment of no return has passed. The stars give the long-awaited freedom of action and become allies in the fateful game. There comes a phase of life when you can safely dream of more than ever before. June 15th will be the day of the momentous reset. The configuration of Jupiter and Neptune promises a decisive sweep in the areas of personality and finances, heralding a radical change. Faces will be dropped, roles will be reset, and representatives of the sign will come to the forefront, ready to defend their time, their resources, and their dignity. For representatives of the sign of Pisces comes a time of radical change, when the former fears and complexes lose their power, giving way to confidence and strength. The period when Pisces felt victimized by circumstances, is coming to an end. Now manipulators and envious people are losing their power, and new opportunities are opening up where you had to face humiliation before. After a long period of humility and forgiveness, Pisces begins to realize its importance and occupy a central position in their lives. Luck, earned by hard work and patience, becomes their faithful companion. Financial difficulties that have been weighing on you for a long time are resolved favorably. Possible unexpected compensation, favorable offers, and increase in income that does not require over-effort. There comes a phase when calm confidence is more fruitful than a grueling race for results. Talents and abilities that were previously put aside begin to bring tangible income. Those who were afraid to ask for more, get what they want without unnecessary requests. Especially favorable promise to be the dates from June 14th to 17th, when revelations, valuable insights, interesting proposals and a change of roles in the team are likely. Closing cases with toxic people will bring tangible benefits. However, you should be cautious on June 12th and June 20th, these days are likely to test old mistakes, such as indulging other people's desires, guilt and fear of conflict. It is important not to give in to provocations and not to compromise your interests. Serpentine and Neptune make Pisces immune to weakness, allowing you to act decisively and without regret. If before Pisces preferred the strategy of tolerate, wait, now it's time to change it to a new one: see, take, do not explain. There comes a period when self-confidence and self-reliance become the main key to success and prosperity. On June 25th, when the sextile of Saturn and Neptune in Aries activates the 7th karmic house for Pisces, there will be a period of significant changes in the sphere of personal relationships. This house, symbolizing love and partnership, is freed from casual connections and superficial hobbies. Past experiences, especially in the period from 2018 to 2023 and the beginning of 2024, represented a stage of purification and preparation for a new phase. Now comes the time of well-deserved reward. People who have left the Pisces life in the past may reappear on the horizon as their time has come. Those who have caused pain and suffering will give way to those who will bring peace and harmony to their lives. Neptune, the planet of illusion, is now helping Pisces see reality unadorned, allowing them to take off the rose-colored glasses and see the true nature of those around them. If Pisces has long lived in the memories of a person with whom there was once a deep spiritual connection, they have a chance to restore this connection. The ruptures that occurred because of offenses, betrayal or distance can be overcome, and the relationship can return to a new round of development, but without the previous conflicts and struggles. Those who showed generosity and forgave past offenses will get a second chance at happiness. Those who let go of the past will meet a new person with the same qualities of sincerity and depth that Pisces values so much. Pisces, by nature, cannot exist alone. Their hearts are like antennas tuned to a wave of love and understanding. Now this antenna is tuned to the right frequency, attracting the right people into their lives. Those who are already married will feel their partner's renewed attention and care. Those who are in search will be attracted to the person next to whom they do not have to explain the need for silence, support, or just spending time together. You will not have to prove anything, everything will happen naturally and harmoniously. The most favorable days for restoring relationships and new meetings are from June 24th to 26th. At the end of June, namely on the 23rd and 28th, situations that remind you of past troubles and tempt you to repeat previous mistakes are not excluded. It is important to be vigilant and not to give in to provocations, especially when it comes to situations where you have had to face humiliation or exploitation in the past. However, June 30th promises to be a day of significant financial breakthrough, the effects of which will be felt for a long time. This breakthrough is due to the trine between Neptune and Pluto, activating the fifth house of Pisces, which is responsible for personal well-being, influence, and performance. This is not a matter of random luck, but a natural outcome of global change. People born under the sign of Pisces, who previously had difficulties with debt, unstable income or were dependent on other people's opinions, will have the opportunity to gain control over their finances and reach a new level of financial independence. A new phase begins, where Neptune is no longer associated with sacrifice, but rather demands informed decision-making. Pluto, in turn, opens up access to resources that previously seemed inaccessible. There are various possible developments: repayment of an old debt, writing off some of your obligations, a favorable investment offer, or unexpected access to financial resources that were deserved but not expected. For Pisces, this could mean the removal of internal blocks, such as insecurity about your financial abilities or modest demands. It is important to realize that the resources available are not enough and to strive for more. This astrological aspect can change the very attitude to money, teaching not only how to receive, but also how to manage it effectively. Pisces engaged in creative professions, psychology, medicine, education or esotericism can discover new sources of income, for example through clients, students or occasional orders, which will be the beginning of something bigger. Those engaged in physical labor can expect a pay raise or a lucrative part-time job offer. Entrepreneurs are in for an unexpected profit or a partnership that was previously thwarted. The astrological environment of late June and early July provides unique opportunities for Pisces to strengthen its financial position and gain long-awaited independence. June 29th and July 1st are predicted to be particularly favorable days for making important agreements, submitting official requests, and investing in promising projects. It's also a good time to purchase anything you need, which can help you further your education, modernize your equipment, or open new horizons in your professional life. However, caution should be exercised between June 27th and June 28th. During these days there is an increased risk of succumbing to the influence of others, making miscalculations, or becoming a victim of manipulation based on pity or promises of financial assistance. Astrologers advise you to remain vigilant and carefully check any information before making decisions. In general, the celestial bodies favor Pisces, but to achieve full financial independence it is necessary to abandon old, ineffective patterns of behavior that led to poverty. There comes a period when the astrological system ceases to hinder the well-being of Pisces, opening a direct path to financial autonomy. Between July 1st and July 3rd, there is a final farewell to the habit of self-pity. The powerful influence of Saturn and Neptune continues, and the trine of Neptune and Pluto becomes a practical guide to action. Anything that Pisces did earlier out of fear, a sense of duty, or a desire to be convenient for others is no longer relevant. The ninth house of the horoscope, symbolizing personal freedom, is activated at this time. Pisces is freeing themselves from restrictions imposed by family, past experiences, or guilt. They move away from the role of the eternal helper, fail-safe savior, and obedient student. This transit helps Pisces mature, giving them the right to make their own rules, say no, and make choices according to their desires. Those who have been in an exhausting relationship will feel they no longer have to endure discomfort. Those who have been living according to other people's scripts will realize that there is an opportunity to live differently and start acting now. It is time to decisively reject those who hinder personal growth and well-being, whether it is an unscrupulous employer who demands a lot for a modest reward, a relative who constantly needs help, or a friend who disappears in difficult moments. The current period is marked by the need for a radical change of outlook. It is no longer necessary to play the role of a selfless and forgiving person who neglects his own interests. July 4th is a pivotal date when Neptune goes retrograde, which serves as a kind of maturity test. All previous concessions, financial support, and unspoken grievances return, demanding resolution. Either the person crosses out the harsh pages of his life, or again falls into a vicious circle of dependence. There is no other way. Those who dare to accept the challenge will gain 5 years of peace of mind, independence and freedom of choice, without having to justify themselves to others. Representatives of the sign of Pisces, who for years, decades or even a lifetime suppressed their desires and needs for the sake of satisfying others, begin to realize that they do not owe anyone anything, neither parents, nor former partners, nor society as a whole. Each person's life belongs to him or her alone. The guilt of past mistakes must be let go, and this must be done boldly and decisively. Those who live in the captivity of other people's expectations, it's time to breathe fully and free themselves. Unique abilities, developed intuition, rich imagination, the ability to feel and foresee events, as well as insight, all this becomes a valuable capital. July 3rd and 4th are days favorable for making important personal decisions, to leave an unloved job, to complete an outdated relationship, to put your own interests first. The main thing is not to compromise with those who are used to using others for their own purposes. A person is free, and this feeling should be the determining factor. At the beginning of July, namely on the 6th to 7th, the heavenly bodies line up in a favorable configuration, giving the representatives of the sign of Pisces a unique opportunity for an emotional reset. The sextile of Venus and Neptune completes the period of internal cleaning and opens a new era of sensuality, allowing Pisces to once again feel their natural ability to enjoy simple things. But now it is a mature and realized joy, devoid of fear of what is to come or feelings of unworthiness. It is not about a fleeting euphoria, but about a stable feeling of satisfaction, independent of external circumstances. Women born under the sign of Pisces, who have long languished in expectation of respect, warmth and a reliable life partner, finally find the desired. In their environment appear men with strength of character, openness and sincere desire for long-term relationships. These are people who are not afraid to show emotions, do not require wearing masks and do not disappear at the first sign of weakness. These are partners worthy of respect and trust. Those who are lonely due to circumstances, begin to attract people who are able to feel with their heart, and not to evaluate superficially. Pisces ceases to feel like a commodity on the market, becoming more like a beacon, which is sought by those who are able to hear their inner silence. Men, next to whom there are women Pisces, should especially appreciate their favorites in this period. Now they enter into a state of harmony with themselves, showing the qualities previously hidden under the mask of softness and pliability. This is no longer those malleable fish, to which people around them are accustomed. In them awakens the energy of the serpentine, endowing them with intuition, wisdom and inner strength. They will no longer beg, wait or hope. Their decision will be final, either they are around or they leave for good. And it is in the interest of those around them to do everything possible to keep them around. During this period there is a deep cleansing of the aura, which is reflected at the physical level. Chronic diseases recede, insomnia goes away, anxiety decreases, the connection with the body, desires and reality is restored. The world ceases to seem hostile and threatening. Pisces for the first time can afford to just live, not wasting energy on the struggle for survival. The age of Pisces, with its established stereotypes and patterns of behavior, is gradually giving way to new trends, opening before people other horizons of self-perception and interaction with the world. The old attitudes are being replaced by healthier and more harmonious principles. In particular, the attitude, "I must tolerate being loved," is transformed into the confidence, "I am loved when I am honest and open." Suppression of anger gives way to an awareness of one's own boundaries and the right to protect one's personal space. "I have the right to be angry to protect myself." Feelings of shame at having to ask for help are replaced by an understanding of one's own worth and right to receive support. "I am not ashamed to ask, I have the right to get what I want." Silence for fear of being misunderstood or rejected gives way to confidence in the importance of one's own voice. "My voice is important, and I will speak up." And finally, self-sacrifice and belittling of one's own interests are replaced by a healthy egoism and awareness of one's own value. "I am a human being too, and I am at the center of my life." These changes are especially relevant for the representatives of the sign of Pisces, entering the new age of Aquarius, enhanced by the influence of the Serpentine. They gain direct access to intuition, inner authority, and the right to be themselves without having to justify themselves. Between July 27 and July 31, the transition from the old version of yourself to the new is completed. The sextile of Saturn and Neptune combined with trine Pluto activates the 12th house, symbolizing the completion of the old and the beginning of the new. Pisces is entering a phase of retribution, which, however, will not be in the form of open revenge or confrontation. Rather, it will be a quiet, precise, and irreversible restoration of justice. Those who took advantage of Pisces' kindness and gullibility, manipulated them or shifted their guilt onto them, will lose access to their lives. Envious people will get the backlash of their negative messages, and saboteurs will lose the support and participation of Pisces. That said, there will be no public revelations or scandals. Pisces will simply close the door to their heart and life for those who do not deserve it, without explanations and hysterics. This will happen naturally and imperceptibly, but the effect will be tangible and irreversible. After that, a clean 5-year cycle will begin, filled with financial prosperity, love, stability, and self-confidence. Incomes will grow, relationships will strengthen, new promising partnerships will appear. All this will happen without falsity, parasites, and unnecessary ballast from the past. Pisces has suffered its own, and now it's time to live a full and happy life. For more than 2 millennia, people born under the sign of Pisces carried the burden of the era, remaining invisible carriers of pain. Behind the mask of kindness, self-sacrifice and silent support, they were the ones hiding. The age of Pisces dictated their life for the sake of others, prescribed to suffer in silence and avoid standing out from the crowd. During this long period, the sun traveled the ecliptic 30 astronomical days longer than it should have. Now that this debt has been paid, these days pass to the 13th sign of the zodiac, the Serpentine. The age of Pisces is coming to an end, giving way to the age of Aquarius, the time of unconventionality, courage and independence. All zodiac signs undergo changes, acquiring new characteristics, and Pisces is no exception. From now on, they will no longer be perceived as victims. They are now the center of transformation, not just a backdrop, but a key event. With the coming of the next year, their new birth dates will fall between March 12 and April 18. It is at this time that the celestial energy is most appropriate for the renewed Pisces, intuitive, strong, deeply felt and capable of self-preservation.